Okay, welcome back to lesson 6. All right, today we will learn something slightly different. We are not going to learn a new passage in Luke, but we are going to learn cultural background. Today we are learning who is who, right? Who is who, right? A group of people that we will need to understand as we learn the story in Luke. Okay, now last week, I told you that there will be an exam. So we will have an exam soon. But before that, let's start with a game. No quiz today, but we'll have a game. Now, this game is called Who is Who. Every time we learn this cultural background, berkenaan dengan orang ataupun kumpulan orang who is who, kita akan main game ini. Okay, so we're gonna play this game berulang kali. Today we're gonna play it now once. At the end of our lesson, we're gonna play it one more time. Okay. Okay, so how do you play this game? Now, first thing is you're gonna have one person, your facilitator will choose later on, okay? You'll have one person who will be a soldier. Okay, your soldier, your tugas is you want to find the zealot. Now, what's a zealot? Zealot is a killer, all right? Zealot is a killer. The killer wants to kill 50% of every one of you, okay? If the zealot kills 50%, he wins. As long as 50% people die, zealot menang. Soldier, if you can catch the zealot, the soldier win, all right? Okay, now how does the zealot kill? Now, during the game, you'll be shaking hands. As you all shake hand, the zealot can, when the zealot shake hand, he can decide to kill or not to kill. When the zealot tap 2 kali on your palm, tap, like poison ivy lah, cucuk tangan 2 kali, tekan tangan 2 kali di sana, then orang yang kena tap-tap 2 kali itu, you have to walk away first. Sebelum mati, tidak boleh mati terus. Lepas kena shake hand tangan, kau boleh berjalan, kau masih hidup 3 saat. So during the 3 saat, kau masih boleh berjalan, kamu masih boleh shake hand orang lain. Tetapi selepas 3 saat, you must die. And when you die, you fall to the floor. You either fall to the floor lying down, or you fall to the floor sitting down, okay? So that's how you die. Now, there's a third person in the game. The third person is Jesus. Jesus' power is to raise the dead. So ada orang yang sudah mati, if the person has died, Jesus can come near the person anytime he wants, if he wants to save the person. He come near the person and he kick the leg. You tendang kaki orang tu 2 kali. Okay, tendang 2 kali, dan orang itu yang sudah ditendang, ditap-tap di kakinya 2 kali. After 3 seconds, that person resurrected and you stand up and you continue playing the game. But Jesus, you have to be very careful when you raise the dead, because if zealot can kill Jesus, okay, if zealot can kill Jesus, zealot win. Oh, okay. So Jesus, if you die, if Jesus die, you must angkat tangan and say, "Oh, I'm Jesus and I'm dead." And then the zealot will win. Okay, so Jesus cannot die. So Jesus, you have to be very careful. You cannot do ketara, save the person. If you let the zealot find out who you are, and the zealot kills you, and that's it. Zealot will win. Okay, so soldier, before Jesus die, before the zealot kills 50%, you must find a person. Okay, faster find a person. So how does the soldier find a person? The zealot, the soldier can shout and say, "I know who is the zealot." You can shout out the name. You got 3 chances. Okay, if you shout 1 time and it's wrong, you can try again. But the 3rd time you get wrong, everybody lose, the zealot win. Okay, all right, so are you ready? So what I want you to do before we start, this is how we're gonna do it, okay? Everyone, you will close your eyes, and then the facilitator will walk, okay? You'll close your eyes and sit in a circle, and the facilitator will walk 1 round. Every time the facilitator pass you, you make sure your head can be touched. If the facilitator touch your head 1 time like this, tekan your kepala 1 time, you are the soldier. 1 soldier only, facilitator, choose 1 soldier, 1 zealot, 1 Jesus. So if your kepala tap 1 time, you are soldier. If your kepala tap 2 times, you are zealot. And if your kepala cannot touch 3 times, you are Jesus. Only got 3%. If your kepala tidak, if your head is not touched, you are a normal citizen. Okay. So once we say start, you will close your eyes and facilitator will choose. And then when that is done, facilitators will say, okay, we are ready, start. If facilitator says start game, everybody must walk around and must shake each other's hand. You must shake hand. You cannot tidak mau shake hand. Wajib untuk shake hand. So during shaking hand, the zealot can decide to kill or not to kill and things like that lah. So zealot, you cannot be too ketara. If the soldier find out who you are, you will lose and everyone else will win. Okay. If you have understand this, firstly, can I ask you to help pause this video? Actually, no need. I give you 5 minutes lah. Later, you pause the video. Okay, sorry, Fessi. 5 minutes, and I hope you enjoy your game. Okay, 5 minutes. Actually, no, I changed my mind. Sorry, Fessi. You just pause the video here, and after that, when you're done playing for 5 minutes, you play again. Okay, so please pause the video. I'll see you soon. Okay, all right, so we will continue. I hope you had a good time. I know you play 1 round only. Later on at the end of our class, we play 1 more round, okay? Okay, go back to your seat. Now it's exam time. Last week I said no homework. This week got short exam. So I want you to take out your buku latihan. I want you to copy the question and answer the question in your exercise book, okay? In your exercise book, all right? Copy the question first and then you answer. We will have 2 questions. Each question is 5 marks, so 10 marks total. I will give you, usually it's what's that? Usually is about 8 minutes, but I'll give you more time because I want you to salin soalan, to copy the question, okay? Each question, you pause it for 15 minutes, okay? Termasuk salin soalan, okay? So the 15 minutes, you salin soalan and you jawab. And then after that, Fessi will play again, okay? 15 minutes for question 1 and 15 minutes for question 2. All right, question 1 is a real SPM question. I take this question from SPM tahun 2006, okay? This is a context questions, 5 marks. I want you to copy the question and I want you to answer in your exercise book. Okay, Fessi, please pause the video. Give them 15 minutes, yeah? 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes is up. Let's have question 2. All right, question 2, I also take from SPM, tahun lepas, soalan tahun lepas, 2005, okay, 2005. This is question 2. Another 15 minutes, you salin the question, and then you jawab soalan. Okay, Fessi, help me pause this video again. Okay, all right, you're done. Okay, so 10 marks altogether. You don't need to pass to your friends. I think you take out your own red pen and you mark your own answer. Okay, red pen. Keluarkan pen merah. I will make you mark your paper together. All right, are you ready? Okay, so you look at your exercise book, take out your red pen. Let's do this together. All right, question 1. He answered, whoever has 2 shirts must give 1 to the man who has none, and whoever has food must share. The first question is, where is this from? Of course, kita baru belajar, so we know this is the story of John the Baptist. But sometimes it's difficult after you finish 28 chapters, and then you're like, oh, where is this? Look at Luke chapter 3. You know, in chapter 3 is the awal-awal. So in the early time, did Jesus say this? Whoever has 2 shirts must give 1 to the man? No. So you know that this is about John the Baptist. Of course, the questions try to help you. It says here, where was John the Baptist? It even gives you extra information, okay? So you know this is the story of John the Baptist. And the question asks in A, where? Tempat, di mana? And since it's a 1 mark, it's very direct. You just have to name the place. And the answer is in verse 3. It says, so John went throughout the whole territory of the Jordan River. The answer is where? The whole territory of the Jordan River. That's the correct answer. But of course, we are looking for the word Jordan River. If you say the area around Jordan River, also betul. If you say Jordan River, also betul. Okay, I'm only looking for the answer Jordan River, 1 mark. Okay, let's move on. In question B, name two other because he is talking to one group here. Okay, we don't know who is he talking to, but there are 3 groups. So the 2 other groups is the answer we want. That's why 2 marks. So 1 group, 1 mark. 1 group, 1 mark. So if you look at it, the first group that John the Baptist talked to is the people or the crowd, which is this one. Whoever has 2 shirts must give to him who has none. So the 2 other, the answer is tax collector and soldier. So your answer is tax collector and soldiers. Okay, tax collector 1 mark, soldiers 1 mark. If you say tax collector without the S, you can get 1 mark also, but the correct answer is tax collectors. Okay, but they will still give you 1 mark lah, even though you are wrong. All right, so make sure you have read it properly. Okay, but marks is given for the occupation, tax collector and soldier. Okay, all right, 2 marks here. Now the last question in question 1 in C, it says state John's instruction to the other 2 groups. I have changed this question here to other 2 groups. I changed it slightly because here 2 groups, right? So I want 2 marks, meaning that 1 instruction for 1 group. Okay, 1 mark instruction for 1 group. So what did John say to the tax collector and the soldier? To the tax collector, don't collect more than is legal. More than is legal. So your answer is John told the tax collector not to collect more than is legal. That's 1 mark. Or you can say John told the tax collector not to collect more than what is supposed. Also can. Okay, the idea, right? So the idea is what we are looking for, not necessarily this entire sentence. He told them open, if you write here, he told them open inverted, don't collect more than legal, full stop, also can. All right, also can. So you can kata active, kata passive, no problem. As long as you have the correct words. Okay, the idea is don't collect more than what is supposed to be. Okay. So to the soldiers, what he said 3 things. Don't take money from anyone by force. Don't accuse anyone falsely. Be content with your pay. But because it's only 1 mark, so any one of these 3, 1 mark lah. Okay, mana-mana satu, 1 mark. Okay, so the answer is he told the soldiers not to take money by force. Okay. He told the soldiers don't accuse anyone falsely. Okay. He told the soldiers to be content with their pay. Also can. All right, so 1 mark here. That's why I wrote here 3 makes 1 because 1, 2, 3 maximum 1 mark. 1 mark here and 1 mark here. So altogether is 5 marks. Let's move on to question 2. In question 2, the people's hopes began to rise and they began to wonder whether John might perhaps be the Messiah. So John said to all of them. Now, what did John say? Okay, which is the question in A. What did John say? What was John's answer to this question? And 3 marks. So you need to give 3 answers, right? 3 marks, 3 answers. So let's see what John said. John said, I baptize you with water, but someone is coming who is much greater than I am. 1 mark. I am not good enough even to untie his sandals. Another mark, 1 mark. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. 1 mark. He has his winnowing shovel with him to thresh out all the grain and gather the wheat into his barn. But he will burn the chaff in a fire that never goes out. 1 mark. So 4 marks maximum, you get 3. Now, how can you write it differently? You can say, John said, someone is coming who is greater than I am. Also can. Someone is coming, he's greater than I am. Or you say, John says that I am not the Messiah. The Messiah is coming after me. Also can. Okay, the idea is somebody is coming. The Messiah is coming after me. So that's the idea. Okay, so that's 1 mark. And then this is to say that he's unworthy. So you can say that I am unworthy to untie his sandals. I am not even worthy enough to untie his sandals. Okay, that's 1 mark, his unworthiness. And then he will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. You need to have the Holy Spirit and fire, both of it, to get this 1 mark. If you say he will baptize you with Holy Spirit, no mark. If you say he will baptize you with fire, also no mark. You must have he will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. You can say Jesus will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. Also can. The Messiah will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. Also can. Okay. Now, verse 17 is long. You can write something like this. The Messiah is here to separate the grain and the chaff, so that he will keep the grain and burn the chaff. Can. Okay, he will separate the grain and the chaff. So anything with the idea of taking the grain, burning the chaff. Basically, those who believe, he take. Those who reject him, he burns. Okay, so this is the idea. All right, so 4 marks altogether. Maximum, you get 3. Okay, this one has been difficult, but I hope you managed to get some marks here. Ada masalah sini? Semua okay? Alright. Salin jawapan. Kalau sudah dapat salah, gunakan pen merah. Okay, copy the correct answer into your answer sheet. Now, if you need to pause the video so you have enough time to copy your answer, please pause the video here. Okay. Okay, so that's A. B. Why? Kenapa? Why did Herod put John in prison? So why? The answer very simple. Because John marah dia. So John marah Governor Herod. Why? Because he had married Herodias, his brother's wife. Oops. And he had done many other evil things. Got 2 answers. The answer we prefer is the first one, but I think both answer is acceptable. So your answer can be John rebuked Governor Herod for marrying the brother's wife Herodias. Or John rebuked Governor Herod for doing many evil things. Also can. Okay, because Herod is unhappy by John for scolding him. Also can. All right. So things like that. Okay, that's the idea. All right. So one of these, you get 1 mark. Why? And C. Oh, by the way, if you need to pause the video, you can go back and pause the video. Right. C. Where had John been preaching? Sama marka dengan soalan 1, right? The question is the same in question 1 just now. So the same answer. Why do I put the same question? Because I take from past year, SPM. So I didn't want to change the question. I want to keep it as it is. Here you go. So the answer is, what's that called? Jordan River, right? So altogether now, your exam, 10 marks. Can you calculate your marks? And then give to your FSC your marks. Okay, we want to keep a record of each student's mark. We already have 2 exams, all right? 2 short exams. I want to keep your record and see how well you are doing with Bible knowledge. Okay, all right. So later on, please pass your mark to your facilitator. All right, simpan baik-baik your jawapan ya. It's a good lesson to learn. It's okay if you get less mark. It's okay if you get a lot of mark, as long as you are learning and you are improving. Okay. All right, good. Today, we are going to learn who is who, because we noticed that there are some people here that we may or may not be familiar with them. Okay, we may or may not be familiar with them. So we're going to learn about them. We're going to look more on the last 2, tax collector and soldiers. But let me show you that in the Bible, there's a lot of different cultural differences with who we are today. Orang Sabah, our culture and Roman culture, not the same. So it will take some time to get used to their idea and what is it like in their world, okay? So this is the city of Jerusalem. This is the temple, but this is the belakang of the temple. Usually we look from this side. But here is opposite direction. We look towards the mountain. Okay, this is the Garden of Gethsemane, and that's the mountain. All right, so let's have a look. Okay, Firstly, we need to understand that in their world, the Jews, they see themselves as Jews, and everyone else who is not Jews, they call them Gentiles. So you and I, we are Gentiles. So lah, kita memang Gentiles sebab kita bukan Jew. Asal bukan Jew, Gentiles lah itu. So the Jews is like that. They're very simple. I'm Jew. Everyone else, the whole world, tidak kira dari mana, you are Gentile to them. Okay, so Jews and Gentiles. So the Roman are actually Gentiles. The Roman are not Jews. Okay, so to the Jews, they don't like Gentiles lah. Jews don't like Gentiles, and so Romans is Gentiles to them, and so they already don't like them. And then Romans are very cruel, so they don't like them. Romans conquer their nation, and they are no longer free. They are not independent. They are merdeka, so they are not happy. Okay, so this is Romans. Jews in the past, during the kings, when the king was fallen by Syria and Assyria, those generation, what happened is that the Jews was taken away from Israel, away from Jerusalem, into other nations. When the Jews that stayed behind intermarry with other people, the descendants of those people, the kacukan, the Jews marry the Gentiles, their children, the descendants, are called Samaritans. So these Jews are pure Jews. These are not pure Jews. So they are Jews with other people already. So the Jews don't like Samaritans. They think of them as like lower class lah. So the Samaritans also don't like Jews. So these two group of people are not friends, okay? But they are a very unique group of people called the proselytes or the God-fearers. This group of people, they are Gentiles, okay? They are Gentiles. But these Gentiles are people who believe in the God of the Jews. They believe in the God of the Jews and they want to follow this God, okay? There are two here. I'm going to explain to you next time, not today, all right? What's a proselyte and what's a God-fearer? Slightly different, but we'll look at this another time. Now, moving on, you will notice that under all this, under Romans, we've got different kinds of people. We've got the emperor, Caesar, we've got the kings, governors, we've got soldiers, we've got Roman citizens. I think I've talked about this a little bit before. And then under the Jews, you've got the upper class, which is this one. All these names are the Sanhedrin Council, the priestly family, Sadducees, Pharisees, scribes, teachers of the laws, temple guards. There will be quite some work to learn this one, okay? And then this upper class, we have the common people. I put them in the way I understand their ranking. We'll talk more about this also. And then there's some very unique Jews, okay? Unique Jews, we'll talk about these unique Jews also next time. Today, we'll be looking at the tax collector here. We'll be looking at the soldiers and centurion here, and the temple guards over here, okay? So let's look at the first one. But before that, the Jews also got some others. I added here the synagogue leaders, and they are the kinds of Jews that live in other countries, but not in Jerusalem. We call them the diaspora Jews. We got the Greek-speaking Jews, and we have the Hebrew-speaking Jews as well, okay? But this is the kind of Jews, not the groups of people. Okay, so today we've learned number one, the tax collector. All right, in your notebook, in your exercise book, start a new page. In your book, I want you to make your notes, okay? I will need the facilitator's help to pause the video so that you got time to make your own notes as you listen to the video and you create your note. Now, how can you create a note? I suggest you create notes in a way that's creative and you like, okay? You can do some drawings, you can draw, you can do notes, you can do mind maps, you can do any way that you help you remember as long as you have a title, okay? You have a title of who these people are, right? Who these people are. Now, let's go on lah. All right, so we're going to begin with tax collector. Now, who is this tax collector? Now, Roman Empire collect many kinds of taxes, okay? Roman Empire collects many kinds of taxes. You have the sales tax, you have the working tax, you got the going into city tax, a lot of taxes, all right? And the Romans love collecting all these tax. So Caesar, the Roman emperor, have authorized every district, the governors, to collect their own taxes and then send these taxes back to Rome. Okay, so the governor will have to collect the taxes and send them back. Now, the Roman governor, what they'll do is instead of collecting themselves, they will delegate the work. They will pass out the work. It says, okay lah, since I am here, I'll ask the Jew. He very smart. He says, if I am a Roman and the Jew don't like me, kalau saya collect sendiri, dia marah dengan saya, tidak apa. I will find the Jews to collect for me from the Jews. Okay, so the Roman governor passed the work of collecting taxes to the Jews. So the Jews collect the money from the Jews, and these Jews are called tax collectors. Now, tax collectors, these Jews are hated. Mereka benci. Kenapa dibenci? Sebab the Jews hate them because they are brother ma, they are Jew ma. We are the same, but this tax collector work for Rome. You work for our enemy. You work for this pagan country. You work for this Roman conqueror that take away our independence. Oh, how can you work for them? You should hate them like us. But instead of hating them, this collector, go help them some more. Aduh, kamu ini, dia cakap, you bantu orang jahat. Okay? You bantu kita punya musuh. So they hate the tax collectors. And number two, tax collectors are not really good people because not only they help Roman, they cheat their own people. How they cheat? Mereka begitu. Kalau sepatutnya minta 10 ringgit, tax collector kata, okay, bayar 15 ringgit. Dia minta lebih. 10 ringgit dia bagi Rome, governor. 5 ringgit dia simpan sendiri. Aduh, patut pun kena benci kan. Bukan saja tolong orang jahat, dia minta lebih lagi. So orang ramai, the common people very samsara, they're very difficult because they have to pay a lot of money. And this tax collector not only help the Romans, they get them to pay more, some more. Okay, and that's why they are hated. But in the story of Jesus' life, we see a lot of tax collector. Jesus' 12 disciples, one of them is a tax collector. Jesus' disciple called Matthew Levi, that's a tax collector, you know. You know the story of Zacchaeus? Zacchaeus is also a tax collector. You will learn later on in the parable of the Pharisees and tax collector, they make a prayer each. So tax collector is very much a part of life in Jesus' time. So if you look at what John the Baptist, apa yang John the Baptist bagi tahu tax collector, kita lihat balik. Tax collector cakap, what are we to do? Apa John cakap? Don't collect more than is legal. Kenapa? Sebab ini tax collector, tengok, dia collect extra. They collect extra supaya dia jadi kaya. That's why a lot of tax collector very rich. Tiap orang dia pergi ambil duit lebih. So John says to them, don't do that. You can work for Roman governor, but jangan melampau. Don't collect extra. Collect yang sepatutnya sahaja. That is why when Zacchaeus in the story later on, what did Zacchaeus say? If I have cheated anyone, I will pay them back 4 times. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Because they are cheat people a lot. Tax collector kuat tipu, kuat curi duit, kuat ambil duit orang lain. Oleh itu dibenci. Tapi sekarang John the Baptist cakap, jangan buat macam tu. Even Jesus with Zacchaeus, you also see the same thing. Okay? Alright, so that's the tax collector. Now you understand kenapa John the Baptist cakap begitulah. Kenapa cakap begitu? Sebab tax collector selalu minta lebih daripada yang sepatutnya. Dia minta lebih. Okay, mari kita move on. Kita lihat soldiers. Siapakah soldiers ini? Who are these soldiers? Okay, so we're going to look at these 2 different soldiers. First, I'm going to look at the Roman soldier, and then I'm going to look at the Jewish soldier. Okay, the red color is Roman soldier. So soldiers and centurion. Now, this is Roman. You look at their dia punya armor, the Roman soldiers wear like this, okay? So you can draw your own Roman soldiers, how they look like. Now, in Roman soldier, dia ada pangkat. Dia ada soldier biasa ataupun dia ada centurion. Centurion ialah orang yang lebih tinggi pangkatnya. In Rome, there is the biggest group, the army is called a legion. Rome ada 20-30 lebih legion waktu itu ya. So every legion is about 6,000 people. 6,000 people. Each legion dibahagi kepada 10 regiment. Dalam satu legion ada 10 regiment. This is regiment. You will remember when Jesus went to Gesara, bila dia pergi Gesara, ada evil spirit in the man. And bila evil spirit itu keluar masuk ke babi, babi itu lompat terjun ke dalam sungai mati kan, ke dalam air. Bila Yesus bertanya, who are you? The spirit cakap, we are legion ataupun mob. Wah, begitu banyak, kau tengok begitu banyak evil spirit dalam satu orang itu. Kasihan. Okay, that's a legion, right? So in a legion got 10. So kalau kita bahagi 10, lebih kurang 600 orang. Tetapi kadang-kadang regiment itu ada 1,000 orang. So we are not sure, maybe some regiment is bigger than the other lah. Lain masa, lain zaman pun lain size dia. Okay, so legion paling besar regiment adalah 1,000 orang ataupun 600. Centuria adalah the leader for a group of 100 people. So a centurion leads 100 soldiers. Okay, a centurion got 100 soldiers under his leadership. Okay, so in Luke, if you look at this, there's actually a lot of centurion in the gospel. For example, in Luke chapter 7, Jesus healed the centurion servant. In Luke chapter 23, there is a centurion that was there when Jesus was crucified. In Acts chapter 27, when Paul was in the ship going to Italy, going to Rome, there was a centurion also. Now, there is one, what do you call this, a commander. They call this guy commander, commander of a regiment in Acts chapter 21. Okay, so all this will be quite interesting for you to look into. So you make your own nota. Saya lupa suruh kamu pause tadi tax collector. So if you haven't made tax collector, pause now, create your own notes, make notes, so you remember tax collector. And then on a new piece of paper, in a new page, make a note for soldiers and centurion, okay? So very interesting also, what does a soldier have power? In Matthew chapter 5, verse 41, Jesus says, for those of you who force you to go 1 mile, go with them the 2nd mile. What is that? Actually, Rome ada satu undang-undang. Okay, Rome has a law that allows the soldier to order any Jewish civilian to carry his bag and walk with him for 1 mile. This is where Jesus take the idea from. Mereka kadang-kadang terpaksa mengangkat bag untuk soldier Rome dan berjalan paling jauh 1 batu. Roman mile is about 1.4 kilometer lah. So you can imagine that the Jews don't like this lah, don't like the Roman soldiers. Okay, please pause and make your notes, create your notes for the tax collector and create your notes for these Roman soldiers. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the last one that I will be looking at today is the temple guard. This is the temple soldier, okay, or the Jewish soldier. Now, who are the Jewish soldier? During that time, you see the uniform different. Jewish soldier lebih kurang powerful lah, dia punya armor kan, lebih basic. Okay, so you can think of how to draw. And in the guidebook, this book, page 11, footnote K, you have more information you can read. Okay, so I'll just give you some basic idea. Now, in the Bible time, There's something called soldiers. Now, why do the Jews need their own soldier? Because they need soldier to be in the temple. Remember, in the temple is only for the Jews. The Romans cannot come in. The Romans is not allowed to go in the temple. So who maintain the law, who maintain the discipline inside the temple? There. The police that is guarding the temple is called the temple guards. All right? They are Jews. They are Jews. And some of the Jewish soldiers also help out the tax collector. The tax collector pay them so that they become their debt collector. Macam Samseng lah mereka itu kan. Macam Samseng pemungut cukai. Macam Along. Macam Along yang mungkin very garang lah mereka. Mungkin sangat ganas sebab mereka minta duit. Dan mereka dipelihara, bukan dijaga oleh Rome. Tiada orang berani membuatkan mereka marah. Okay, macam Samseng pula mereka kan. So these are all Jews, yeah. So in Luke chapter 22 verse 52, you will see these people, the temple guards, being mentioned when they come and catch Jesus. Bila mereka datang menangkap Yesus pada waktu malam itu, bukan soldiers yang dari Rome tau. These are the Jewish soldiers. That's why they bring Jesus to the Sanhedrin. So some soldiers also work for the Sanhedrin, work for the temple. Okay, so these are Jews. So it's different. Just now the one is yang merah itu is Roman soldier. This one is yang Jewish soldier. Okay, different. Now my question is this. Soldier in verse 14 is Roman or Jewish? Is it Roman or Jewish? But if you look at the lukisan, mereka lukis macam Roman kan, betul? So it's possible that it's Roman. But I think it's not Roman soldiers. Okay, maybe it's Roman soldiers, but I think it's not Roman soldiers here because if you go back a few verse 8, is this verse 8 or verse 10? John the Baptist say, don't start saying among yourself that Abraham is your ancestor. I think the soldiers here is not Roman soldiers now, because Roman soldiers don't call Abraham their ancestor. This must be Jewish soldier. These are Jewish soldiers who are there at that time. So if you look at it, it's not this soldier that is a Gentile, that's a Roman. It's this soldier, temple guard, that is a Jew. So let me go back a bit first. So this Jewish soldier is the one being mentioned. That's why if you look at apa yang John the Baptist kasih tahu dia, don't take money from anyone by force. Roman soldier force what? Roman soldier force them to walk, carry their bag. So who take money from anyone by force? This one must be the soldier that work for the tax collector. Kan mereka pemungut cukai. Not only that, the accused people falsely. Kenapa? Sebab mereka boleh ada hubungan dengan Rome. Jadi apa yang mereka katakan, Rome pun ikut. Sebab mereka yang tukang bantu kan. So they say that's not good. So John the Baptist tell them, be content with your pay. You are being paid to collect taxes. Be happy with it. Don't do more like this, macam Samseng. Okay, don't take money from anyone by force. So this is the soldier. So you will see that that's how it looks like, tax collector and soldiers. Okay, so we're gonna end already. This is all we're learning today. We're gonna have one more time to play game, the same game, but I'm gonna tambah satu orang. I'm gonna add one more person here, which is the tax collector. Okay, so the facilitator, you can choose a soldier, a zealot, a Jesus, Jesus, and one tax collector. Now, what do the tax collector do? The tax collector mau pungut duit. So, bagaimana dia pungut duit begitu ya? So, when the tax collector shake hand, you can pull the hand dua kali. When you shake hand, you tarik the tangan. Tarik dua kali, tarik. And then, jikalau kamu tanganmu ditarik, okay, you must put your left hand, tangan kiri di atas kepala, lepas 3 saat. Okay, jika tangan kamu tarik 2 kali, selepas 3 saat, you will put your, after 3 seconds, put your hands, left hand on top of your head. If the tax collector have made such that 50% of everybody put your head on your head, put your hand on your head, the tax collector win, okay? Jadi, tax collector jangan matilah. If the zealot kill you, you cannot win. And the thing is, Jesus is not going to help you if your hand is already at kepala, okay? Jesus only raised the dead. So the person, if your left hand is on your head, until the end of the game, your hand will always be at the head, okay? So now we will see, will the tax collector win? Will the zealot win? Will everybody else win, okay? Jesus, soldier, and everybody else, you are one team, okay? So this is what you do. You close your head, you close your eyes. Facilitator will tap on you. And then once you're ready, you can start the game, okay? So you can pause the video here, and that's it for today. Enjoy your game. I hope you have learned something new. I will see you next lesson. Okay? Goodbye. Pause the video and enjoy your game.